The Goku Piccolo vs Raditz three-way pause is an all-time classic. Bruh, even the way this conflict opens up is just mad wild. So Goku shows up to Kame House out of the blue, right, and just randomly tells all of his lifelong friends that he has a kid now. All of them are absolutely tripping because first of all, they can't imagine that Goku ever found himself in a situation at all with a woman where he was able to shoot up the club. But then all of a sudden, this massive individual out of nowhere just arrives on the beach with these massive truth bombs out of nowhere like it's no big deal. In a matter of seconds, Goku learns that his name ain't Goku, that he has a big brother, he is a literal alien coming from a race of genocidal maniacs, and to make matters worse, the man that is currently believed to be the strongest being on Earth gets violated by this weak-ass looking knee to the gut. It had me so mad, bruh, and his child stolen. Raditz was on absolute demon time from the moment he touched down on Earth's soil. After reminiscing on that gut shot, Goku realizes that the only way he's gonna beat this man is to recruit Piccolo. Piccolo's still an op at this point, but agrees to help Goku because he's the only one out there that's allowed to put Goku in a body bag. So the two of them pull up on Raditz in an empty field and ready to get busy. And they are absolutely feeling themselves too, boy. Both start pulling off their weighted training gear, stretching like they are about to really handle business. Whole time Raditz is on the other side of the map thinking, oh brother. Shortly after they throw off all their gear, they do a head-on charge to Raditz's position and they are on one. They are switching positions back and forth on some Team 7 Naruto energy, trying to throw everything they can at this man, trying to land a punch, and dude, it's just not working. Raditz is clearly playing games too as he pulls off this weak-looking kick to get both of them off his tail, and then he shoots two ki blasts from his hands directly downward, not even caring if they miss, and just demolishes the local wildlife all so he can smirk and look at him like, yeah, I'm that guy. Turns out he didn't miss that bad though, because Piccolo's entire arm gets blown off and he's just sitting there leaking, holding on to that bad boy like he didn't just receive a life-altering injury. Piccolo and Goku quickly realize that they may have messed with the wrong one and start trying to come up with a plan B on how to wax this guy, because a straight up fair fight is about to get them both dusted. In the end, they decide to use Goku as a distraction while Piccolo uses his fire technique he was saving to murk Goku to put his brother in the dirt instead. Piccolo starts charging up while Goku dives in head first for another ass beating. Once again, Goku's really out here doing his best. Bro's punching, kicking, jumping, pulling out everything he's got in his bag, but big bro is just too clean with it. So Goku decides, alright, time to put this man on a t-shirt and starts charging the Kamehameha wave. At first, Raditz is smiling like shit is sweet because he don't think that there's anything these two could possibly do to put him in danger. Then his scouter starts showing the numbers going up on Goku and he starts to low-key panic a little bit because mans didn't know that they could raise and lower their power levels out here like that. And then to top it all, he notices the green man's power level starting to jump through the roof as well. And then he really starts swaying. But then before he can figure something out, Goku fires off the blicky, shooting the Kamehameha wave, and that boy Raditz starts running for his life. And then Goku starts pulling out some absolute mess out of his bag of tricks, starts moving the Kamehameha wave around like it's on a fishing line, and has Raditz on the run like he's Take-K until Raditz realizes how goofy he looks and decides to just tank it because there's no way he can let his little brother put him on notice like this. But Raditz forgot Piccolo was waiting in the cut. Big homie finishes charging and fires off a special beam cannon for the ages. In retrospect though, it really makes me mad that it didn't cross their mind initially that man's just might, I don't know, like move out the way and not allow himself to get absolutely smoked by that attack. Like, what did they really think homie was just gonna sit there and do? Like, just see the attack coming and be like, okay, guess I'll die then, and just get ran through? The more I think about how easy it was to dodge that original attack, the less sorry I feel for Goku and Piccolo and start to feel like they really deserve that ass whooping, bruh. But I can't lie, the look on Raditz's face when Piccolo fired off that special beam cannon was nothing less than hilarious. Bro was really in disbelief looking at Piccolo, looking like, wow, you were really gonna smoke me, huh? Yes, bro, of course. You see how dirty you've been doing these men for the past few minutes? Of course he was gonna try to wipe you off the map if he could. But right before Raditz can go and erase Piccolo for trying to put him 6 feet under, Goku catches Raditz lacking and grabs his tail. Now, for all intents and purposes, this should have been the end of the fight. Goku has homie's tail, Piccolo mollywops him while he's powerless, and we call it a day. But we all know that would be too good to be true. While his tail is being fondled by Goku, Raditz starts talking that good. I'm talking grade A game out here, bruh. Bruh starts telling more lies than a struggling pickup artist, telling Goku some, you know I was playing big dog, I would never hurt my nephew. As soon as I knew you really didn't want to go, bro, I was gonna get on my ship and head right home. Scout's honor. Man, anybody with half a semblance of a brain can tell you off rip that Raditz was capping on a whole whole nother level, but Goku's simple ass is out here really eating it up on some "if I let you go, are you really not gonna come back" type energy. Piccolo almost has a brain aneurysm when he hears Goku entertaining the thought. Piccolo was stressed, bro. Man had no less than 3 veins bulging on the top of his noggin, telling Goku he better not let that man go, because if he does, it's Rap City for both of them. But Goku's too soft-hearted out here, bro, and lets Raditz up for a split second, and that's all it took for Raditz to give that man an elbow from hell, knock him on his ass, and get right back on his bullshit. If I'm Piccolo in this situation, bro, I'm side-eyeing Goku on an unfathomable level, picking up my cape and saying deuces. Man can have the planet and your son, bro. It really didn't have to end like this. And now Raditz is in raw violation mode, stepping on Goku's chest and popping his ribs like some wishbones on a Thanksgiving turkey. Goku starts howling, and this is when we see the first instance of Toriyama's Gohan rage boost. Gohan busts out of Raditz's ship and starts staring at Raditz like he was a mom who told him he wasn't getting no more V-Bucks for the rest of the year. Out of nowhere, little homie's power level just skyrockets, and he hits Raditz with the headbutt of the century square in his chest. Raditz is devastated, bro. He's got cracked armor, blood leaking out of the mouth, the whole nine. And at this point, Raditz is sick of surprises and just really ready to be done. So he slaps the absolute taste out of Gohan's mouth and goes over to finish him off. He does give little homie props though for being the first person ever in his life to hurt him that bad. Gohan is on the verge of having a 40 poured out for him when out of nowhere Goku gets on his feet and puts his older brother in a full Nelson on a WWE tip. He yells over to Piccolo to do that one move again, and this time murk them both, because that's really their only choice at this point. Piccolo's like, damn, say less, gathers the rest of his energy and prepares to fire. Raditz starts talking that good one more time, calling Goku a traitor and asking him if he really is about to die for these Earthlings. Man really is just saying whatever he can possibly say to get out of this ass whooping. It's no dice this time though, because Goku can barely hear him over the sound of his ribs cracking some more. Piccolo tells Goku that it's been real, points his fingers at the target, and this time Mans does not miss. Raditz urinates his armor as the special beam cannon shatters his chest, blowing a hole through both him and Goku, ending the fight. But it's not quite over. In his dying breath, Raditz continues to talk his shit, but Piccolo ain't having it and tells him that Goku is ultimately the one with the last laugh. Raditz is like, alright bro, tell me more, and Piccolo begins to spill the beans on the Dragon Balls and how Goku is more than likely going to be back in the next few weeks, but Raditz is on a one-way ticket to HFIL for the foreseeable future. Then Raditz throws out the reverse Uno card in the final hour, telling Piccolo that he's been recording the stream this whole time and that he has 2 hard piping saying, homies, we're going to be here to pay Earth a visit for those Dragon Balls in the next few months, and thanks for the info, moron. Piccolo looks at him in disbelief, realizing how bad he just got caught lacking, and decides that yeah, it's time for this guy to go, and puts the finishing touches on Raditz's upcoming trip to Kame. Krillin tells Goku that they're going to look for the Dragon Balls and bring them back, and homie dies with a smile on his face. For as much crap as I gave Goku during this recap, I have to admit that only a real one is willing to sacrifice themselves and put their life on the line for their son and their family. So major salutes to Goku on being willing to tank that special beam cannon. Shout outs to this battle, bro. When you really think about it, Toriyama is an absolute loose cannon for starting off the series like this. The introduction of Raditz high-key sent the story of Dragon Ball Z in a completely new direction from everything that happened in Dragon Ball. Man kills off the main character, introduces aliens, a more intense focus on combat and power levels. It just sets the stage for the foundation of everything Z will become in a short time, and it's hella cool when looking back and examining the series' history. So the Saiyans were really a whole different breed, bruh. So many months after Big Raditz got folded like an omelet at Denny's, the Earth's mightiest heroes hit the weight room and decided they were going to post up and wait for the arrival of Raditz's homies, thinking they put in enough work to defend their backyard from the devastation that was about to occur. Oh boy, did these fellas have another thing coming.
I'm in danger.
So out of the dust, we see Jake and the fat man pulling up with their scouters on, zero stress on their shoulders. The big fella Nappa starts rattling off power levels, and when the Prince of all L's tells him that he might as well put that thing away because the boys out here know how to raise and lower their energy at will. Vegeta tells Goldberg that they should have about 6 of them things on them and get them ready to go. So bust them out and let them go to work. Next thing you know, we see big fella crouch down, start to plant some seeds, and in a few seconds, you see these awful looking gremlins pop out, and you can tell they are off the pack because they come into the world ready to cause mischief, bruh. Second after they got out of the dirt, they smelled something fishy and started swarming Gohan, Piccolo, and Krillin. I gotta give Piccolo and Krillin credit though. Them fellas went right to work when them boys started circling, but Gohan on the other hand was an absolute shock, boy. And I truly can't blame him. Mans is a good 6 years old, maybe at this point in the story, and these grown men really brought him out here in the middle of the wasteland to fight for his life like these things are really sweet out here. I felt so bad for homie. Fella had tears in his eyes, mouth mouth wide open, catching flies during the whole altercation. Then one of the green homies realizes that little man has no business being out here and shoulder checks him like he was about to punk him for his lunch. Luckily, before it can get even more tragic, Tien, Chaozu, and Yamcha roll out the cut talking that heat the moment they touch down. Yamcha especially had me weak with his entrance because he came into the scene with his back turned, not even facing the enemy like he was the main character. If Buddy only knew what was about to happen, after the whole crew shows up, Vegeta's like, alright, bet, let's run a set, shirts versus skins, my people against your people. Tien goes up to bat first and he puts a dub on the board, but I have to tell you how sick to my stomach it made me watching these fellas have a full-blown martial arts throwdown with Cybermen. The difference in power level from the beginning of the series to the end is absolutely bonkers, cause in no way should Cybermen be out here making folks sweat the way they are in this scene. But I digress. The team starts gassing up Tien for his dub. The Cyberman tries getting up cause he ain't hear no bell, but Vegeta blows the man apart in a really gruesome way, I might add. Good lord, old DBZ was on something completely different compared to Super. With one alien out the way, it's time for round 2. Krillin steps up to the plate ready to put in some work, but Yamcha holds him back and tells him, nah, young blood, you get wrecked one more time, it's a wrap because you already got folded once.
He's gone.
If I die, y'all can still bring me back. Bro must have really seen a prophecy out here like Raven Baxter, because the L he took to this random ass Cyberman is so well known, it's an urban legend at this point. But I'll admit, Yamcha started off looking strong. He was going lick for lick, pause, with the alien until he started feeling cute, busts out this after image technique and fires off a Kamehameha wave right into the Cyberman's chest and puts him in the dirt. Yamcha was talking that goodish too, boy, rolling up on Nappa and Vegeta saying he's ready to take on the whole Cyberman squad, and this homie turns out to be his fatal mistake, because these Cybermen are built to last. Little homie got out the dirt, wrapped his arms and legs all the way around Yamcha, and mans was shook. Yamcha just sitting in the middle of this wasteland damn near in tears, while all his homies are about to watch him get hoed by a random jobber that caught him lacking. You truly hate to see it. To make matters worse, right before the Cybermen put the finishing touches on the ass whooping, he gave a little smile to Yamcha just to give him something to think about on the way to King Yima's and blew his ass away, creating the now famous Yamcha massive L death pose. But can we just stop for a minute and think about how traumatizing this had to be for poor Gohan? Bro is barely in elementary school and is out here in the battlefield literally watching people die and is expected to throw hands with creatures more powerful than anyone on this planet has ever seen. If you ask me, it's no wonder little dude became a pacifist as he grew up, because if this is my first real taste of combat, you best believe I'm good. Y'all can keep that. Let me go home, read my little books. I swear my mom would never have to threaten me to study again. That's a fact. But what I forgot is what happens after Yamcha gets dusted. While everyone is sitting there looking crazy with their mouths wide open after seeing what happened to Yamcha, Krillin enters demon time and decides somebody's gonna have to answer for what happened to one of his day ones. Out of nowhere, little ball homie starts charging his ki, then shoots an energy wave at Vegeta and Nappa. They know it ain't gonna do crap to him, so they don't even bother trying to dodge. Then all of a sudden, Krillin sends that thing up in the air and drops straight nukes on top of the Cybermen and catches at least 3 bodies. I gotta give it to him, he did his thing right here. But my issue becomes this. My man, if you had the capability to wipe out the whole squad like that on a moment's notice, why did you not just do it at the beginning of the fight? You let one of your mans get wiped off the map before deciding to do this, and the math just ain't mathing for me right now. But I digress. Krillin put in work, but one of the Cybermen managed to scurry away on some sneaky stuff. While they were celebrating the work Krillin just put in, one of the aliens' pieces of garbage jumps out and tries to put Gohan on a t-shirt. Luckily though, the realest of them all, Piccolo, was stanced up, already saw it coming, gives the alien a gut shot, then kills him with this random ass mouth blast on some absolutely nasty work. I swear, bro, early Dragon Ball gave these characters the most random techniques ever, and we just never see these moves again. Toriyama, I am begging you, give these characters their toolkits back. We need to see it. Now back to the fight. With the Cybermen going, Nappa decides that it's time for him to tag in. And honestly, if I'm the Z Warriors, I'm packing my bags as soon as homie started key charging. All bro did was gather his energy, and it caused a good 7.5 on the Richter scale earthquake to pop off. And the look on their faces while Nappa's powering up is just tragic. Them boys were hearing funeral bells from the start, and nobody can tell me otherwise. After Nappa finishes, he realizes nobody feeling froggy enough to jump at him, so he decides that he's gonna make the first move. And watching Nappa scan the terrain and look each person out there in the eye before picking who to demolish is one of the most disrespectful things I've ever seen. Nappa smelled the most urine coming from Tien's direction, so he decides that this is where the beatdown's gonna begin. He smacks Tien in his arm once and gives him the craziest Charlie horse of the century, adversary. Then he smacks him a second time and the whole hand goes flying off. And once again, my thoughts go back to Gohan. Who really had this child out here like this, bruh? Chi-Chi should have whooped all their asses when they came back home, because this whole thing is absolutely unacceptable. Before Nappa can put the finishing touches on Tien, both Krillin and Chaozu try to do something to stop Nappa's reign of terror. Piccolo had me in tears here because man tells Krillin, nah bruh, you might as well stay back because he's a lost cause at this point. Piccolo already knew it was raps, but Krillin and Chaozu decide they need to learn the hard way. Chaozu, realizing trying to fight Nappa up front is a straight no-go, decides he's going to take a page out of Cyberman handbook and use his life energy to blow Nappa away and save his best friend. I gotta be real with y'all, bro. The exchange between Tien and Chaozu here was some tear-jerking stuff. They were really each other's day one, and Tien was on the verge of tears trying to tell man not to do it. Chaozu made up his mind though and blows himself up, satisfied with the knowledge that he at least gave his friends a fighting chance and took one of the bad guys with him. Except that's not what happened at all, and little homie's death literally did not even amount to a scratch on Nappa's clothing, let alone getting anywhere near wiping that man off the map. And Nappa made sure to let the whole squad know that little dude died for nothing too. I honestly forgot how much trash Nappa talks during this fight, y'all. Dude is on some straight WWE heel energy during this whole battle, and I'd be lying if I said bro didn't get a good chuckle out of me a couple times. Nappa goes in and tries to put the finishing touches on Tien's ass whooping, but at the last second, Krillin and Piccolo come in with the sneak attack and try to wipe dude out. Of course, the ambush doesn't work and they miss their most significant attacks like usual, so now they have to do a straight up face-to-face showdown with this menace Mr. Clean. Right before they begin their attack, both Piccolo and Krillin pull out this crazy ass shadow clone jutsu technique and try to beat the brakes off of Nappa in a 6v1. What happens is just an absolute travesty. After attacking this man 6v1 all at once, they can't even land a hit on this 7'9", 399-pound behemoth of a man. Both Krillin and Piccolo get hit so hard, their shadow clones retreat into their body. You know what? Maybe that's why we never see this technique again. The ass beating Nappa gave was so bad, the shadow clones just refused to ever come out because they ain't going through all that again, ever. Tien, seeing the whole squad getting devastated one by one, decides that the only hope left is for him to put all his energy into one final attack and hope that erases Nappa. Tien, by this point, is halfway to King Kai's place anyway after his day one Chaozu got destroyed, so to him, what's the harm in putting everything into one last attack? Tien goes for it, throws up Crip in the memory of Chaozu, and shoots a tri-beam for the ages. Everyone's looking at it had to low-key give him some props because that attack really did have a little juice behind it. But in the end, it didn't matter. Nappa emerges from the smoke very much alive, and Tien, feeling like a failure, dies using the last of his energy. Mad depressing, y'all. Seeing Tien in the dirt sends Piccolo, Gohan, and Krillin into a rage, and they begin to attack again. Krillin and Gohan make a full head-on charge to Nappa's position, ready to risk it all. And while Nappa's distracted, Piccolo's lurking in the shadows and manages to grab onto Nappa's tail. Piccolo yells out to his teammates that he's got a hold of him, thinking that he's finally got the big man in checkmate. Gohan rushes in to try to land a full power attack while Nappa's in his weakened state, but next thing you know, Nappa cracks an absolutely devious smile and gives Piccolo one of the nastiest elbow drops to the dome piece ever seen in fiction. It was so bad, bro, that everyone just stopped in their tracks and the camera didn't even pan to him for a good 10 seconds because it was just an ugly sight. Nappa had Piccolo looking crazy, y'all. Nappa summoned every piece of Namekian racism he had in his heart and concentrated it into an elbow to make positive that Piccolo felt it. I know Piccolo suffered at least 13 concussions off that elbow drop, boy. His ancestors felt that one. Brain was bouncing around in his head like a load of laundry. Man's eyes were almost bulging out of their sockets with just an absolutely massive purple bruise to remind him to never try that nonsense again. As you might have imagined, Piccolo needed to go home for a glass of milk after that one, so he's a non-factor for a good chunk of the fight after this. This leaves the 6-year-old and the bald man left to take on Nappa alone. Gohan tries to attack but gets swatted around like a ping pong ball, as one might expect when a 6-year-old is trying to fight a pro wrestler. This fight is the very definition of the coffin baby versus the hydrogen bomb meme. Krillin, realizing that this is just about over, decides to bust out a technique he had been saving in a last-ditch effort for the fight. I can't tell y'all how aggravated this had me too. Krillin was just sitting on all these murderous ass techniques and finds a way to wait till the absolute worst time every time to bring them up. Why didn't man think to do this while Nappa was distracted during the fight with the Cybermen? Or maybe when he was held up by Chaozu? Or Nappa was caught lacking when he got hit by Tien's tri-beam? Or better yet, why didn't the man's talk to the crew from the beginning and say, y'all, I got this crazy ass move that is guaranteed to put this man 6 feet under, but I need y'all to help me hold him still so I can land it. There was zero strategy or planning during this fight, just out here running on prayers and vibes. But let's get back to it. Krillin starts putting the finishing touches on his Kienzan, aka Destructo Disc, and points that bad boy directly at Nappa's throat. Nappa, being the absolute dummy that he is, decides he's gonna try to tank it head on and block it with his face. Vegeta notices that, nah bruh, little bald homie was cooking, you touch that and it's a wrap. So he calls out to Nappa to move his big ass head at the very last minute, and Nappa escapes with only a cut on his cheek, and the disc continues forward, cutting an entire mountain in half before it disappears. Then Krillin's sitting there looking stupid like, oh shucks, I missed. Now Nappa's pissed, realizing he almost got wiped out by this random 4'1" human. Bro also said that he was mad that it scarred his beautiful face, but at this point I gotta ask man to stop the cap, because we all know Nappa's modeling career was going nowhere. Nappa launches a nuke at Krillin's position, and right before he can chalk up another kill on the Z Warriors, he gets shot in the back by Piccolo, who finally regained consciousness after the severe brain injury he took earlier. Nappa begins rattling off every Namekian racial slur he can possibly think of and starts charging to ruin the rest of Piccolo's day, when out of nowhere, Gohan jumps out the cut and kicks Nappa so hard he gets implanted into the side of a mountain. Now by this point, Nappa's just sick of the whole thing, starts gathering his energy and is ready to turn Gohan into dust particles and get the whole thing moving. Gohan is stuck, straight deer in the headlights, seeing his whole life flash before his eyes, but before the atomic bomb hits, my goat Piccolo comes in and takes the bullet for his son like the real one that he is, before making the journey to the afterlife. And it's shortly after this that Son Goku himself rolls up and the whole vibe absolutely changes. But we'll save that part for another day. And that, my friends, concludes part 1 of Nappa and Vegeta's entrance to Earth's surface and introduction to Earth's mightiest heroes. Once again, I have to stress how wild Toriyama's storytelling is in the beginning of the Z series. Y'all gotta understand, man, coming from Dragon Ball, we have gotten to know these characters so well. They've been built up for volumes with whole ass character development arcs of their own. Then just a few episodes in a Z, we're watching these characters who we've grown to love just get blown to smithereens in some absolutely brutal ways. Toriyama did not care about his audience's feelings or expectations whatsoever, and I'm not mad at it one bit. While the remaining Z Warriors were fighting for their lives on Earth, Goku was in the afterlife getting busy. After a number of canon and not so canon hijinks traversing Snake Way, Goku arrived at King Kai's ready to train so hard that he would never have to worry about catching another fade for the rest of his life. While King Kai's methods were certainly unconventional, his training turned out to be real deal and put Goku through the ringer. Man was out here in 10 times gravity, struggling to even stand up or breathe when he first got on the planet. Goku spent a year chasing monkeys, bopping insects on the head with a comically oversized mallet, and learning new key manipulation techniques till he finally came out on the other side an absolute animal. Even King Kai had to give young son Goku props on how far he had come. But the celebration was short-lived, as it was time for Goku to get back to Earth with a quickness because a threat that had arrived and things were not looking good for his comrades back home. Wasting no time, Goku sprints through Snake Way at record speed and hitches a ride with Kame instant transmission style back to Earth because it was time to go to work. Goku jumps off Korin's tower, gets a couple of beams from the homie while he's at it, and takes the Nimbus on a direct line to Nappa and Vegeta's position. I just gotta say, y'all, old DBZ hits different. Everything from the art to the sound and the overall atmosphere of the show is just top notch at this point in the series, and will make you understand why this is so loved by so many people. But let me not waste any more time. Let's talk about this absolute curb stomp Nappa's about to catch when Goku arrives at the scene. Goku arriving to meet Nappa and Vegeta is so funny, bro. Man arrives just levitating in the air, and you can just tell he is calculating all the ways he's about to put his size 12 King Kai Air Maxes through these Goombas' heads. Nappa and Vegeta look up and are more shocked than they've ever been in their lives to see this menacing orange figure hovering above their heads. Vegeta sees Goku staring and starts talking that heat, asking him about his family reunion with his brother, roasting his dead homies, straight violation after violation, and the whole time Goku is radio silent. This is how you know bro's mad. Buddy's here to collect, and he ain't going home until these two fellas are walking out of the wasteland on crutches and eating their meals through a straw for the next 5 years. Goku surveys the land, checks his pulse and finds Piccolo's up in smoke, looks over and sees Tien gone, eyes the massive crater and sees Yamcha's lifeless body curled up in a ball, sees his day one Krillin low-key paralyzed from how much damage he took, and his son looking dusty as hell and out of his mind with fear. Goku starts walking towards Nappa, who's geeking. Man just can't help but tell Goku how easy it was to smoke all his friends and how he had a good time doing it too. Nappa throws a punch and Goku just walks past bro like he ain't even there and goes to have a conversation with Gohan and the homie Krillin. Goku breaks his last bean in half and gives it to his son and his bro and talks about how they've done their part, but now it's time for them to let daddy get to work by himself. At first, Krillin tells Goku that he's out of his mind and starts telling him how Batista alone washed their entire crew and how he hates to admit it, but Buddy means business. Goku tells Krillin to halt that thought and he begins walking over to the big man. The amount of black Air Force energy Goku was radiating low-key scares Krillin, and he tells Gohan, look, just sit back and let his pops cook. He's never seen bro like this. A man is obviously built different now, so all they can do is let him do his thing. Goku rolls up to Nappa and Vegeta and tells him that the party's over. Out of nowhere, Goku begins ki charging and the entire vibe of the scene changes. Nappa's mouth is wide open, just out here catching all manner of flies while he's watching Goku power up. Vegeta tells Nappa that Goku's power level is in the thousands at this point, and bro begins going through the stages of grief, doing his best to deny facts like he didn't just see it with his own eyes. Nappa's feeling extra heated at this point and decides that it's time to throw some hands. Nappa's whole barrage looks like a movie we've already seen before.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Except this time, instead of him being the one playing games and dodging all the attacks like he was with Krillin and Piccolo, it's Goku playing games with them, making the man look absolutely silly out here. Nappa's flabbergasted at this point, talking about how, bro, I'm the second strongest Saiyan in the universe. Then Goku chimes in with an absolutely villainous reply, telling Nappa, well, if it's only stronger than him, then he now occupies the position of third strongest right behind him and Vegeta. The whole time, Vegeta's just watching this unfold and is absolutely perplexed. Bro cannot get in his head how an absolute bum like this that couldn't even beat up Raditz is now making Nappa look like an absolute buffoon out here in the span of a year. The math is just not mathing. Now we get to the point where Goku is starting to mount his attack. Man comes sprinting full speed at Nappa like it's third and goal at the Super Bowl. Then right before contact, man jumps up in the air and places his dirty ass blue Timbs directly on top of Nappa's bald head and just stands there. I really had to sit back in my seat on this one because that was just wild. There was literally no reason to do this other than straight disrespect. Putting your dirty Timbs on a grown man's head is absolutely nasty work, and Goku was wrong for that. Although this man really did dust his entire circle of childhood friends, so he did earn it. Then as Nappa finally processes what's going on, he reaches for Goku, who then hits the dirt and delivers one of the nastiest gut shots in fiction to Nappa's midsection. Man said this one's for the squad, gave that boy one for flinching. He had Nappa on his knees at this point, Paul, sweating and reminiscing on the whole life story that led him up to this point, talking about he was a general in the Saiyan army. Man must have forgot that this is Earth and they built different out here. Ain't nobody trying to hear about this musty ass Saiyan army on this planet. The fight continues and Goku delivers a nasty hook to Nappa, who goes flying into some rocks and off the side of a mountain. Goku really had Nappa out here looking crazy, y'all. Nappa then starts charging up, sick of the whole thing at this point, and does his best to smoke Goku in one shot. But rather than move out the way, which he easily could have, Goku says, all right, bet, stands his ground and takes his hit straight on. Nappa really thought he did something too, because he was giggling like a little schoolgirl staring in Goku's direction, expecting to see nothing but a cloud of dust left. But out of the smoke, what else does he see but Goku flexing on him? Not a scratch on him, taking one of Nappa's full power hits as if someone was trying to strike him with a pillow. Goku then goes to work and gives Nappa a nasty combo of his own, making sure that he knows every hit he's catching right now is for one of the homies he put in the grave. Vegeta yells at Nappa and tells him to calm his happy self down. Bro's so mad he's going cross-eyed, he ain't gonna be able to beat up Goku this way. It had me weak though, because the whole time Vegeta's saying this, in the back of his head he's thinking about how strong this menace Goku turned out to be and how Nappa's cooked 3 ways to Sunday no matter how you look at it. Nappa listens though, he begins to relax a tiny bit, getting enough common sense to concentrate, charge his ki, and come at Goku full force. While he still wasn't doing any work during this time, even Goku had to admit that dude had some strength to him when he actually decides to put his 2 brain cells together and get serious. The thing that caught me off guard the most was this nasty ass mouth beam Nappa does when he thinks he has Goku in checkmate. It really had me shook, and Goku must have felt the same way, because he had a split second to shoot off a Kamehameha to soften the blow before he would have gotten cooked by it himself. Nappa's in disbelief that his foul ass breath attack didn't end Goku's rap career, and it's at this point Vegeta gets fully fed up with the situation and tells Nappa to tag out, letting bro know that he just embarrassed them both enough at this point. He's gonna wrap up the fight himself. Vegeta really little boy Nappa out here too. It was kind of crazy to see. Vegeta attacked every aspect of dude's manhood, but honestly, what was Nappa gonna do? He already knew in his heart how talking crazy to Vegeta would end, so he took his little tail between his legs and started scooching down the floor to let Vegeta go to work. But being who he is, Nappa couldn't just chill out and wait. Man decided it would be a good idea to attack the child and the bald man one last time, just to get his rocks off and prove that he isn't a complete failure. Goku peeps Nappa out of the corner of his eye and makes his way to his position with the quickness, even busting out the new stuff, his Kaioken technique, to ensure he makes it in time. time. And I gotta be real with y'all, I forgot how bad Nappa gets it here. On his way over to Nappa, Goku delivers an absolutely nasty elbow drop to Nappa's spine, paralyzing the dude from the waist down on some Stephen Hawking's tip, and then tosses him over with one arm to this homeboy like a sack of potatoes fresh picked from the farmer's market. Then for the cherry on top of the disrespect sundae, while paralyzed, Nappa asks Vegeta for his hand to help him up. Even to Nappa's surprise, Vegeta agrees. He grabs his hand, but then he tosses bro 200 feet in the air and sends him first class to HFIL, telling him maybe he'll be less of a disgrace in the afterlife. And what really capped off the devious behavior was Vegeta licking his lips after the kill like he just ate a fine 3-course dinner. Early Vegeta was a madman, y'all. Dude should have been behind bars at this point. He had no business being anywhere near any other living creature. And now with Nappa's cheeks finally being clapped, we begin the legendary first battle between Goku and Vegeta on Earth.
On the last episode of Dragon Ball Z, Son Goku, after spending a year in the weight room getting busy, heads back to Earth only to find a majority of his friends up in smoke thanks to the like of Boss Rudin and a strange man with a forehead rivaling those from Cartoon Network's Code Lyoko series. Feeling an anger he hasn't in a long time, young Goku made short work of the brute Nappa, clapping his cheeks and leaving him paralyzed waist down like Professor X. Vegeta, thinking about how garbage the Frieza Force's insurance is, decides to put Nappa out of his mercy, killing his lifelong friend like he just met the man last Tuesday. Now, with nothing left to come between them, Son Goku and Prince Vegeta prepare for the fight of their lives, not realizing that this clash will make a turning point that will alter the course of both their lives forever.
Here we go, homies, the moment a lot of us have been waiting for. Let's talk about the legendary clash between the homie Goku and the one and only Prince Vegeta. Before we even start talking about the hands being thrown, let's give some massive credit to Toriyama and the rest of the team in regards to the care they took in setting this scene up. The battle between Goku and Vegeta is a battle of philosophy. Vegeta represents the elite, the man is Saiyan royalty, raised from birth to feel as though he was better than others, and to be real, he had the talent to back it up. Man represents God-given, inborn talent and the belief that in this world, some folks are simply born better than others. Then we have Son Goku, the loser riffraff kicked off planet Vegeta to colonize some random weak planet because that's the most they could expect out of the potential he was born with. But here's the thing, the Saiyans never accounted for how the work one puts in and the friends they make can turn someone with perhaps little potential at birth into a beast beyond compare through the correct training and discipline. The homie Goku represents the idea that the low can become the high through the proper means and effort, and that one's set limits can be broken with the proper motivation. And this belief can even be seen through how they set up the scene, with Vegeta occupying the space at the top, looking down on Goku, the low-born peasant, smugly thinking that no matter how hard this weakling tries, the gap between them is just too large. Y'all can't tell me that early DBZ is not goated, bro. I love this damn series. Now let's let the hands begin. Goku makes the first move and charges directly towards Vegeta, and from jump, both of these fellows are throwing like crazy. A little moment that I really like is when Goku misses one of his attacks, Vegeta comes in with a hook trying to knock Goku's head off, but instead, Mans is ready and grabs Vegeta's hand, stopping the punch. It happens quick, but Vegeta gives a quick glance over to Goku in the middle of the fight like, oh, you think you nice, huh? And then they get back to work. What was cracking me up was how aggressive Goku is in this fight. Man was on Vegeta like white on rice. Vegeta would try backing up to gain some space, and Goku was right there with him. Like, nah, buddy, we about to throw these right now. The beginning is back and forth, boy. I gotta give them both credit. They were piecing each other up. Both Goku and Vegeta were catching hands to the chest, knees, nothing was off the table. They were straight trying to put each other to sleep. Vegeta catches Goku lacking though, knees man in the gut and has him reeling, then catches a double axe handle to the back of the dome on some WWE work. Once Goku lands, he sees the prince looking down on him with the smuggest look you've ever seen in your life. Straight evil in his heart, looking right in the man's eyes like, yeah pal, I'm that guy. Even Goku had to admit that, okay, yeah, this fella's kind of nice. But I gotta show him I ain't no punk though, so while he had Vegeta's attention, Goku decides to get serious and activate his Kaioken technique. I about died when this happened because while Vegeta's watching, he notices something different about old boy and raises an eyebrow. Before he can even question things further though, Goku is already headed in his direction and connects with a right hook that would have made Mike Tyson flinch. Vegeta's brain starts buffering after this hit and Buddy leaves his chest wide open and Goku just starts piecing him up like crazy. But before Goku can get another good hit in, Vegeta hits a substitution jutsu and kicks Goku in the jaw, letting him know, alright, that's enough. Goku once again again starts talking that shonen protagonist stuff, saying, yeah, fighting a guy this strong's really got me fired up. Vegeta looks over and is like, oh yeah, you fired up? Well, you're gonna really like this, and begins ki charging himself. But Goku learns real quick that this man is different, because when Vegeta starts ki charging, the whole color of the sky changes, lightning starts emerging. You would have thought Shinron just came out the cut to watch the fight the way things were looking, but nah, it was just Vegeta cooking up something devious. Goku has to put up his guard all the way just so he can survive the man's ki charge. But before Buddy can even really register what's happening, all he sees is Vegeta's massive forehead on a beeline in his position, ready to run him through like dollar store 2-ply. Vegeta's on the attack now, and dude means business. He starts knocking Goku all around the wasteland like his light work, and then out of nowhere starts throwing literal fireballs at Goku like homie just ate a fire flower in Mario. Bro, this had me flabbergasted if I'm keeping it a bean. And Goku was too, because he almost got smoked by it, but instead it was just his shirt that ended up catching the fade. After that close call, Goku starts to realize that if I don't figure something out quick, this man is really gonna turn me into atomic particles. So he decides that's about time to bust out everything in his bag of tricks. Homie's muscles start going crazy like he's Bruce Banner, stressing his body to the limit, pause, while activating the Kaioken ×3. King Kai's watching the whole thing on Zoom and is mad stressed watching Goku put his body past the limit, activating the Kaioken at that level. But Goku knows that Vegeta's here to box, and unless he pulls out everything in his bag of tricks, he's gonna be making that long run back to Snake Way for a permanent training session with King Kai. Quick note, one thing I really like about the Kaioken technique is that at this point in the series, Toriyama makes really clear the stress this move is putting on Goku's body. It isn't just something they can pull out like a get out of jail free card when he's getting bodied. When dude uses it, it's coming at a cost and it's time limited. It makes the technique feel fair and have a sense of consequence connected to it that's desperately missing later in the series. After Goku finishes charging, he mounts an attack that almost makes Vegeta a permanent part of a nearby mountain. Vegeta is beyond heated that this low-born monkey dared to put his dirty ass Timbs on his back and lets out a primal shout of pure anger and frustration. Goku ain't done yet though. He catches Vegeta asleep at the wheel, weaves a punch, and hits him with arguably a worse gut shot than he caught Nappa with. I gotta tell y'all, the way this had Vegeta reel and bag hole in his little tummy, it was absolutely tragic. I bet you even Goku felt bad for that one. Was probably thinking to himself, damn, I ain't really have to do him like that. Vegeta better be lucky that he had that armor on, boy, because if that was pure skin, the homie would have been walking around with a donut in his chest looking like Raditz out here. I know Nappa was in hell cackling watching Vegeta take that shot too. Never seen a man looking like that. Vegeta did his best to come back with something because he knew how weak he was starting to look, but Goku starts punking dude even harder. The man grabs one of Vegeta's fist in midair, stops him, and just starts squeezing them Johns like your older brother used to remind you that you're really not that guy. And bro, when I tell you that Goku was squeezing, you can see the veins popping out of Buddy's arms and the side of his noggin. He was trying to turn Vegeta's fist into oatmeal. Vegeta starts wailing out in pain, but then he pulls his crazy ass MMA move, hops on Goku's midsection pause, and hits him with another double axe handle. Goku wasn't feeling that though, and his Vegeta with one of the most brutal combinations in recent memory. No exaggeration, y'all, I could literally feel the hits watching this nonsense. Goku was hitting this man with every ounce of muscle fiber he had available in his body. Then dude picks Vegeta up and gets ready to slam Buddy off a cliff, but he makes sure his knee is lodged right in homie's spine before he hits the ground, and I guarantee y'all that after taking this hit, Vegeta ain't never been the same since, for real. It's so crazy. Vegeta tries to stand up, but man is in so much pain he just falls back over. And then he decides, you know what, F it, I'm done. Launches himself in the air and is ready to body the whole planet just to make sure Kakarot has to hold this L. And at this point, we have arguably the most legendary beam struggle in all of DBZ and maybe even anime history. This moment is just beautiful, y'all. These two men up to this point have been given the fight everything they got. They both realize they're hitting their limit, so it's time to finish things in one move. And once again, you have the imagery of Vegeta at the top, the elite warrior shooting down on the low-class Goku to finally show him the dominance of the royal class once and for all. But Goku refuses to give in. By pushing his body to the brink of death and activating the Kaioken ×4, he gives everything he has, winning the beam struggle and also the moral victory, showing Vegeta that birthright means nothing and that through the right training, even those considered trash can reach the top if the right amount of effort is put in. And what's crazy is that Vegeta survives the beam struggle, right? But after evading being blasted into the sun, the man yells out an absolutely insane scream of pure rage. You would think that homie would be happy that he survived getting blasted into the stratosphere, but it's bigger than that. Vegeta is a man of pride, and in this moment, he just had his pride shattered in an irreparable way. His whole worldview that he lived up to this very moment was completely shattered in an instant by someone he barely saw as a living creature. In a fit of embarrassment, shock, and rage, Vegeta returns to Goku's position and creates an artificial moon to gain the power that he needs to transform and finish Goku off. And while he seems to be happy about what's coming next, as the series continues, Vegeta is quick to reflect on this moment as one of pride and failure. He saw Goku as the victor the moment he won that beam struggle, and everything that occurs after this point is him trying desperately to hold on to what's left of his pride. What happens to Goku post-transformation is absolute clown shoes. Man is out here running for his life in the wasteland. He used up the last of his ki in that beam struggle and is in no position to try to take Vegeta down in the state that he's in now. This section of the fight literally feels like a horror movie as we watch our homie Goku run, hide behind rocks and peek behind corners, trying everything he can not to get snapped in half like a Kit Kat if Vegeta finds him. There's no run from this though, as Vegeta discovers Goku time and time again, making him realize trying to run and hide is useless. But something that does happen, which I completely forgot about, is seeing Vegeta like this finally makes Goku realize that he's the one responsible for all those giant monster attacks back in the day that occurred out of nowhere, and that he was the one responsible for his grandpa Gohan's death. But the man has no time to grieve because Vegeta's hell-bent on getting the last laugh and is ready to chase this man to the ends of the earth. Goku has one more trump card up his sleeve though. Goku hits Vegeta with a solar flare, a technique that I really want to see used more again for real, and begins charging the final technique he learned from King Kai, the Spirit Bomb. Homie starts gathering his energy and eventually he's ready. Goku puts the ki into his fist and is ready to send Vegeta to the next dimension, but Vegeta's too fast and hits Goku with a beam before he can fire it off. Vegeta comes over to Goku's position, takes all 19 tons of his body and starts river dancing on Goku's legs. I'll tell you right now, Buddy's ball career is finished. Had his knees looking like D Rose. Vegeta's out for blood though and is about to finish the job, but Goku manages to fire off a ki blast in the homie's eye and buy himself a little time. Vegeta sees him again though, picks him up and starts squeezing Goku, straight turning his bones into baby powder. At this point, Krillin and Gohan just can't watch anymore and decide to jump in before Goku gets flatlined. Krillin goes for another Destructo disc thinking that he caught Vegeta lacking, but bro Mario hops in and watches the disc fly away, almost friendly firing Gohan on the way. And right when everything starts to look like it's over for real, who else but the GOAT Yajirobe enters the scene with a buzzer beater, cutting off Vegeta's tail and ending the transformation. The way homie scurries off immediately after cutting the tail kills me. Dude knew it was time to skedaddle because Vegeta was going to be big mad. Immediately upon reverting the transformation, Vegeta starts beating the absolute dog mess out of Gohan. He was doing this child so dirty, bro. Krillin sees this and makes an attempt to help out Gohan, but gets immediately one-shotted by a single kick. Look, I know Vegeta is magnitude stronger than Krillin even at this point in the story, but the way Vegeta ended Krillin's career in a single hit and had him hitting the Family Guy death animation got me so mad. Vegeta starts in on Gohan again, and looking back, I cannot believe the absolute demon time Vegeta was on fighting this literal child. Homie picks up little dude by the collar and starts headbutting this child with his massive 5 head, and once he's done torturing him, he chucks him in the dirt right next to his pops. Goku, with the little energy he has left, begins the process of handing over the Spirit Bomb to Gohan. Since his body is so broken at this point, he doesn't have the ability to finish the fight himself. And right before the transfer can occur, Vegeta comes in with a straight WWE knee drop on the Goku's midsection. The worst part is, bro deliberately waited for the moment that would hurt the absolute worst to break things up. He kicks Goku to the side and begins cruelly beating away at Goku's broken body. Seeing all this happening to his pops triggers the Toriyama Angry Gohan power boost, and he starts charging headfirst at Vegeta. And I gotta give little Gohan his due here. Little buddy put up a valiant effort against Vegeta. Even with being scared out of his mind and low on energy, he pushes Vegeta enough to have to concentrate his efforts solely on him and take the battle seriously. This distraction allowed time for Krillin to gain consciousness again and head over to Goku, who had begun the process of transferring the Genki Dama to Krillin while Gohan was getting busy. Goku completes the transfer and Krillin has a hold of the Spirit Bomb. While this is happening, Vegeta does his favorite thing in the world and begins shooting an energy blast volley at Gohan in the hopes of toasting him so he can murk the rest of these humans and get off this planet. I just gotta comment on how ass the Vegeta energy blast volley's record is, bro. That ish has worked a grand total of 0 times and Buddy still feels the need to waste all that ki, knowing full well the dude on the other end is gonna emerge from the cloud of smoke unharmed, looking like the main character, and you're gonna be sitting there looking stupid. But Krillin doesn't want to take any more chances on young Gohan getting hurt, so he chucks the ball at Vegeta. And now Krillin's batting 0-3 on his ultimate techniques, missing the mark as Vegeta jumps the Spirit Bomb and had him looking crazy. Just as all hope looks lost, who else but young Gohan is sitting on the other side of Vegeta? The young Go outstretches his hands, the Spirit Bomb bounces off and hits Vegeta right in his back, sending him to the same place Team Rocket goes when they take L's on Pokemon. Exhausted, the Z-Fighters think they finally won as Vegeta slowly comes crashing back down to Earth unconscious. Except Psych, because this menace wakes up more pissed off than ever and lets off an explosion explosive wave, hoping to smoke everybody in the nearby vicinity. After Vegeta hits his pose unnecessarily for a good 3 minutes, he surveys the land and notices young Gohan unconscious, but his tail is revealed. Vegeta suddenly remembers the artificial moon and immediately makes a direct line to flatline this kid because he knows what's coming if he doesn't act quick. But before he can strike the decisive blow, Yajirobe comes in and delivers a nasty cut to the Saiyan, even piercing his armor. Honestly, Yajirobe does not get enough credit for his role in this battle. If Mans did not do what he did, the Earth would have been in absolute shambles. In shock that he was damaged by a seemingly worthless human with such a low power level, Vegeta starts fat shaming Yajirobe and delivers a nasty right hook to the face that low-key should have knocked dude's head off. Then while the bro's brain is already looking like scrambled eggs after taking that hook, Vegeta comes over and starts working his ground and pound on Yajirobe, just hitting him with punch after unnecessary punch. This ends up being a fatal mistake though, because while Vegeta was pissed off bullying this poor man, Gohan transforms and now it's his turn to go through the horror movie. At this point, all Vegeta can do is run desperately and try to come up with a plan to cut off Donkey Kong's tail before he takes the life out of him. Gohan jumps in the air ready to curb stomp Vegeta, but Vegeta at this point lets out another trash energy blast volley, and you guessed it, it doesn't work, and Gohan continues towards Vegeta ready to make a snack out of him. Pause. Vegeta in a few hot seconds knows he's about to get absolutely wasted, but all of a sudden dude just activates his Sharingan, remembers his data on Krillin, and shoots off a Destructo disc, cutting off Gohan's tail. Vegeta was so happy at this point too, but he finally thought he won, but he didn't realize till too late that he was completely gassed out using that technique and is forced to watch as a slowly transforming Gohan lands ass first on top of him in Uzaru form, finally ending the battle. At this point, Vegeta has nothing left in the tank. Bro calls for an Uber to get him back home because he's had enough of these Earthlings for one day. Krillin sees this though and is like, nah buddy, you came to this planet, ended some of my closest friends, damn near paralyzed me, and you really think I'm about to just let you cook so you can do it all over again later? Krillin picks up Yajirobe's sword and is dead set on catching a body. Vegeta looks at him in disbelief, thinking to himself, man, I'm really about to be killed by this random ass bald dude. This has gotta be karma for Nappa. Right before he gets dropped though, Goku yells for Krillin, pleading with him not to go through with it. Goku asks Krillin to be the bigger person, reminding him that they got their dub and that it would be better to teach him a lesson about what it means to be merciful than anything that would come from revenge. Krillin looks back at Vegeta with absolute hate in his eyes, but out of respect and love for Goku, honors the request, allowing Vegeta to escape completely battered, but with his life still intact. And that, folks, marks the end of the Saiyan saga. Going through these videos with everyone has done nothing but remind me of how legendary DBZ is. Not only just the fights, but the storytelling and the themes are massively underrated and deserve more props than they get credit for. Thank you all for rocking with these videos, and I'm excited to hit up the Namek saga together and get into the menaces that are the Ginyu Force and the legendary Lord Frieza. Be easy, y'all, and I'll talk to you in the next video.